everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again for another one of these quarantine concerts. We've had so much fun sharing our music with you since last week, and we really look forward to doing it every night. It's just something that we're enjoying so much. Music is really therapeutic for us during this time, and we hope that it's doing the same thing for you. We're really happy to share our love with music, bring a little joy to your day. And we really appreciate everybody who's given us a kind word this week and maybe made some comments on our videos and shared them. We're so happy that you're enjoying everything, and we love interacting with you all in real time as we're doing these. It's just so much fun for us. So we'd like to start off tonight with an arrangement that comes from our album called Classical Jazz, which we released last year. And this is Beethoven Symphony No. 5, but probably not like you've ever heard it before. That was our arrangement of Beethoven's Symphony No. 5, and that was recorded on our Classical Jazz album, which we released last year. If you're just tuning in tonight, we're Laura Dubin and Antonio Guerrero, as you know, and I'd like to say a special shout out to Daniel Kushner at the Rochester City newspaper. Antonio and I just had the best surprise ever today when we found out from our friend Donna Silverman that Daniel had published an article about us in the city paper and about these live stream concerts that we've been doing every night. And Daniel, thank you so much. We so appreciate you spreading the word and supporting our music. It really means the world to us, and it just gave us such a boost of energy and joy today. if there's anybody watching right now who we have not met, but maybe you're here because you saw that article, please leave a comment and say hello and introduce yourself, because we'd love to know how far that article reached, and we'd love to make some new friends here, even if it's only over the internet for now. Hopefully we'll all get to meet each other in real life someday. And as always, feel free to let us know where you're watching from. It's really fun for us to know how far our music is traveling. And I know last night we had several people watching all the way over in Japan, so that was really exciting for us. And I say last night, but technically it was like this morning for them. It was like two different days apart. That's kind of a fun thought. So let's see. We'd like to play an original composition next. And this is actually one of the first jazz tunes I composed. Seriously, like one of my first serious jazz compositions. I was actually in college when I wrote this, and this is dedicated to my all-time favorite jazz pianist, Oscar Peterson. He's not only been a musical hero and inspiration to me my whole life, but him as well as his trio, the Oscar Peterson Trio, in particular the trio that he had with Ed Thigpen on the drums and Ray Brown on the bass. They played together for many years, and to me, they are just the essence of swinging, joyful music. You just can't be in a bad mood when you hear it. There's so much joy and sophistication, and it's just really technically interesting, but also just emotionally, it just really like grabs your heart.
Creative.
Yeah, extremely creative and deep. Yes, absolutely. So this is a tune that I dedicated to my piano hero, Oscar Peterson, and this is called Ode to OP. And we recorded this on our very first album, which we released in 2013. The album's called Introducing the Laura Dubin Trio, and it's actually all original music, and this is one of the tunes that we played on the album. We hope you like Ode to OP. was an original composition of mine called Ode to OP, dedicated to my piano hero, the late, great Oscar Peterson. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you all watching our videos so much. It really means the world to us to be able to share our music with you still, even though we can't see anybody in real life. But we're really grateful for the internet to allow us to keep sharing our music with you and keep interacting with you. If you're enjoying this music tonight, feel free to head on over to lauradubin.com later, and there are 3 ways you can make a financial contribution if you'd like to, and there's a link to this page of my website right in this video. You can either download all of our albums. We've got 7 albums for you to choose from, so you'll have plenty of music to listen to these next couple weeks or months when we're all home. So you can either purchase our albums, you can make a one-time donation of any amount that you choose. There are several suggested amounts there, but you can adjust all of them to your liking. Or, as of yesterday, there's a brand new option to become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz, and it will take you to PayPal when you click on that link. It's a secure link, and there are several amounts that you can choose from to make a monthly contribution, and it will securely store your credit card information and just charge you every month like an automatic payment, and that way you don't have to think about it every month. But if you'd like to kind of make an ongoing contribution, that's a great way to do it. And there's no obligation if you do want to cancel at any time. There's no penalty or anything. And I also just would like to mention that I know that some people might be kind of hesitant to enter their credit card information online in this day and age. My website is secure. However, if you do have any qualms about doing that, but you would like to make a contribution, please send me a private message, and we'll talk about another way that you can do it. And if you're unable to make any contribution at this time, because I know this is a hard time for all of us, not only musicians, we still really appreciate your support just by watching this video and maybe sharing it with your friends. That really just means the world to us, and we're so happy to be doing this no matter what happens. It's just a pleasure to play for you, and we really see this as a service that we're providing, and we're really happy for the opportunity to be able to do it. So next we'd like to play a piece by another one of my piano heroes, Dave Brubeck, and he's been another huge influence on me as a pianist and composer in terms of the way that he played the piano, the way he improvised, and the way that he played standards, but also his original compositions. He was just a master of playing in interesting time signatures, whether it was 5/4, 9/8, 11/4, or in the case of the next piece we're about to play, switching time signatures every other bar, every other measure. So this piece, which is called 3 to Get Ready, and I think the full name of the title should be 3 to Get Ready and 4 to Go, the entire piece alternates between 3/4 and 4/4. And one of our favorite things about playing Dave Brubeck's music is that it really keeps you on your toes. You can't like not be thinking while you're playing, otherwise you totally get out of the circle. So it's always just a really fun challenge to play his music, and it's really gratifying when it feels like we kind of got it. So we're really excited to play this piece for you. This is 3 to Get Ready by Dave Brubeck. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. That was 3 to Get Ready by the one and only Dave Brubeck. We'd like to play another original composition of mine next, and this is a piece that I think we can kind of all relate to right now. The meaning of this piece is twofold. It's called Control-Alt-Delete, and it's dedicated to anybody who has ever been frustrated with their technology before, which I believe is all of us. And it's also dedicated to anyone who's had one of those days where it just feels like no matter what you do, your brain is just not responding. And I'm sure that during this time of quarantine, many of us have been feeling this way. So this is just a little message to all of you that we feel you and we see you. And this is kind of our sympathetic message to you all. This is Control-Alt-Delete. was an original composition of mine called Control-Alt-Delete. Probably one of the funniest titled tunes of mine. As our audience knows, people who have seen a lot of our performances, I love to write compositions with funny titles, such as that. Usually there's a good story behind them. Like Guerrero is another one that we played the other night about a traffic signal that I like, the green left turn signal. So the next piece is kind of a new arrangement, and this is actually the theme song for my favorite television show, I Love Lucy. If there are any I Love Lucy fans watching now, please leave a comment and raise your hand. Exactly. So I love being married to Antonio because I've been watching I Love Lucy since I was like 10 years old. And now, for the first time ever, or at least since Antonio and I met, I finally understand what Ricky's saying. All the Lucy fans out there will know that. And I finally understand what he's saying in Spanish. Any Lucy fans out there know that whenever Ricky got mad at Lucy, he would yell at her in Spanish. And the first time Antonio and I watched it together, and I heard him laughing at what Ricky was saying, it was so funny to me because I knew that he knew what he was saying. And just to let you all know how much I love Lucy, recently I was cleaning out some things and I discovered some old cassette tapes that I recorded when I was a kid. This particular tape I found, I was probably 10 or 11 when I did this, and we still have a cassette player, so I was wondering what was on this tape, and I listened to it, and it was a tape of myself that I had recorded reciting entire episodes of Lucy from beginning to end, all the dialogue, doing all the voices of the characters, including trying to do Ricky's Cuban accent, which wasn't very successful, but I tried. My parents read to me a lot when I was a kid, and I think that really helped me to memorize dialogue really easily or quickly. Apparently, I would recite like entire books out loud when I was a kid, and so when I watch a TV show or a movie, it's very easy for me to remember the dialogue after watching it just a couple times. But especially with Lucy, I mean, I've just watched every episode so many times that I had literally could recite them all verbatim when I was that age. So that tells you how much I love Lucy. So we hope you enjoy our version of the theme song.
That explains everything.
Exactly. That explains everything. I'm gonna stop it right on that cute picture of Lucy and Ricky there. That was, of course, the theme song from I Love Lucy. So I'm really excited to play this next piece. I thought this was a piece that we really needed to play this week, just during this time that we're all going through now. And I thought it would be fun to kind of make a user-created video up on our wall for this one. And so a few days ago, I asked all my friends on Facebook if they have any photos that bring them joy or comfort or peace or hope during this time. And a lot of friends reached out and left some beautiful photos in the comments. And we are so excited to display them here during this next song. This is our arrangement of What a Wonderful World. And thank you so much to everybody who submitted photos. I hope that you're all watching now and that you will see your photos up here on the big screen. There's a couple of our own photos too, because, I mean, why not? picture of us.
Achilles.
That was our arrangement of What a Wonderful World. And this is my sister Siobhan's adorable dog Achilles right there on the screen with his pumpkin pie toy. Thank you so much again to everybody who submitted photos for this. It was really fun to put this slideshow together, and it just brought us a lot of joy to see these pictures all week long. So we really appreciate it. Before we play our last piece of the night, I would like to say that we will hang out with you for a few minutes after the music ends. We always love to interact with you and say hello. I will spend a few moments here on camera reading through the comments and just saying a hello to everybody who commented. So if you haven't done so, feel free to leave a comment, say hello, let us know where you're watching from. And we're just delighted to know who's out there enjoying our music. And I've also got kind of a fun story I'm going to share with all of you if you'd like to stick around and hear it. It's the story about this beautiful piano I'm playing here. And I just thought it would be fun to share it with you all because sometimes people ask about what kind of piano I have at home. Because obviously in our live performances, I can't bring this baby with me. So I thought I would share the story about it after we play. Once again, thank you so much for listening. As you know, we are Laura Dubin and Antonio Guerrero. And if there's anybody joining us tonight who maybe saw the article in City Paper and you don't know us personally, Antonio and I are married. I kind of take it for granted that everybody knows that in our audience. But somebody out there who is who's meeting us for the first time might not have been aware of that. So I had to mention that. And once again, if you're enjoying the music tonight, feel free to go over to lauradubin.com. There's a link right under the video here. And you can make a financial contribution in 3 ways. You can either download our albums, which we certainly hope you'll do so that you can keep enjoying our music. You can make a one-time donation of any amount that you choose. There are several suggested amounts you can choose from, but you can adjust them all to your liking. Or you can become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz. There's a link right on the bottom of that page. It will take you to a secure PayPal checkout. And there are several monthly amounts that you can choose from. And it will be like an automatic recurring credit card payment. So it will securely store your info and then just charge you once a month, like an auto pay. Like some of you might pay your bills in that way. It's just an easy, convenient way to give an ongoing pledge. And if there's anybody out there who would like to make a contribution, but maybe you're hesitant to put your credit card information online, we do understand. My website is secure, but I do understand that in this day and age, sometimes it might be a little risky for some people to do that. So if that's something that you'd like to talk to me about, please send me a private message and we'll figure out another way that you can make a contribution. We really appreciate it.
Every single album that we sell is just connected with the bank and everything is secure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything just goes directly to us, but we can't. Yeah, we can't see any of your credit card information or anything like that. Yeah, exactly. And I know this is kind of a hard time for all of us, not only musicians. So if you're unable to make a donation at this time, we really just appreciate you being here and enjoying our music. It really means the world to us to be able to share our music with you during this time. And we really see this as a service that we're providing for you and also for ourselves. Music is just the greatest healer for us, and we would be doing this no matter what is going on in the world and in our lives. And we're just happy and grateful for the opportunity to share it with you, no matter what your circumstances might be. So thank you again for your support. Feel free to share this video on your own Facebook page. And if you're watching this on my personal Facebook page, but you have not yet liked my music page, Laura Dubin Jazz, feel free to go on over there and give it a like. And then you'll be notified on that page whenever these videos are going live. We're doing them every night, usually around 8 o'clock or 8:30. And once again, I'd like to say a special thank you to Daniel Kushner for the wonderful article he wrote about us in the City Paper today. We really, really appreciate you spreading the word about our music.
And thank you for noticing all the details about even the different shots of the camera, the audio, and everything.
Absolutely. We really, really appreciate that, your attention to all those details.
And the arrangements. I mean, he was mentioning. Thank you.
Yeah. It really means a lot to us when people are really, not just watching, but they're kind of paying attention to some of the details about the music and the production and everything. So thank you so much for that, Daniel. And if there's anybody watching who is here because of that article, please leave a comment and say hello and introduce yourself. We'd love to meet you. So without further ado, we will play our last piece, and the title of this one is kind of appropriate for this time. This is an original composition of mine. It's called Anxiety, and I wrote this piece when I was in college. As you can imagine, I was kind of having some anxiety at the time that I wrote it. It was actually the week before my senior year of college began, and I was just feeling really overwhelmed with school already, even though it hadn't started yet. Which, don't get me wrong, I had the most excellent experience ever there. There's just like a lot going on. The beginning of senior year is stressful because you kind of really need to start thinking about what you're going to do when the school year ends. And I think I was just kind of like stressed out about that at the time. But this piece of music isn't really supposed to sound like anxiety. It's just that when I had a lot of it on this day, I kind of tried to calm myself down, as I still do, by just playing the piano freely. And this is just kind of what came out. And I honestly felt a lot better after I wrote this piece. But since I had some anxiety at the time that it was written, I decided that that would be the title. And you can hear this on our first album, introducing the Laura Dubin Trio. And you can also hear another version of it on our third album, which is live at the Rochester International Jazz Festival. So without further ado, this is Anxiety. And please stick around afterward. We'd love to talk and hang out with you for a little while. thank you so much for being here tonight with us. That's all the music for tonight, but we are going to stick around for a few minutes and mingle with you as we would if this was a real-life performance at a venue. I saw some comments pop up while we were playing, so I just want to kind of scroll through my phone and say hello to everybody who did comment. Let's see here. And bear with me just for a second, because sometimes it takes a second to get set up here. And I've got this video in two places. It's on my Laura Dubin Jazz music page on Facebook and also on my personal Facebook page. So I will check on both of them just to make sure I don't miss anybody here. Let's see. Gerlindy! Hey, it's so great to see you! Your twin girls are so adorable and beautiful. I would love to meet them in real life someday. I hope you and your family are all doing well. Gerlindy was my first friend ever in my entire life. We met in kindergarten. I think we actually met like the day before kindergarten when we went to maybe meet our kindergarten teacher, and I think we were playing on the playground or something. School 46 in the city school district. Woo!
We saw her parents often.
Yes, exactly. Yep, Rosemary
hello,
and Johan.
Hello, yeah.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for watching. Let's see. Hey, Bob and Sue again. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you,
yes,
Bob.
nice
Thank
article
you,
in
Sue.
City. I'm not sure if you guys saw that maybe before I posted that on Facebook. It was such a surprise for me. Thanks to Donna Silverman again for sharing that news with us. It
Thank you,
really
Donna,
just made our
yes.
day. Yeah. Great to see you and Sue. Lisa Clemen. Hey, great to see you. I hope I said your last name right. Tell me if it's Clemen or Kleeman in the comments. I think it's Clemen. So you remember Lisa from our George Eastman House concerts. She introduced us a couple times.
Oh,
and
yes, of course, I remember her. Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong about this story. I think it was either your father or your grandfather who was maybe one of the original members of the RPO. I'm probably not saying the story correctly, but maybe you can leave a comment here and tell us your Rochester music connection, because it's really special. And I know you told the story when we performed at the George Eastman Museum last year, and I don't want to tell the story incorrectly, but it's really beautiful. So if you're still watching, feel free to share the story with us here in the comments. I'm sure people would love to see it. Paula Marchese, did I say your name right? So nice to meet you. I think this is a new friend. Thank you so much for listening. It's funny saying meet through Facebook.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll meet in real life someday. Paula. Her last name is spelled Marchece. Beautiful. The Mancinis are watching from the far-off land called Chile. Yeah! Woo! Thank you so much for tuning in once again, Frank and Lisa and Bobby and Maggie. Maggie is their dog. Such a cute dog. I really want to introduce Maggie and my sister's dog, Achilles someday. It would just be such an adorable meeting. Bob says, why do I have that mirror on your left? Just curious. Good question. I think it kind of looks cool. Sometimes, we can kind of see different angles of the keyboard.
Yeah, and
Let's see.
I moved the
yeah,
shot
actually,
there,
it's funny because it used to be like
little there.
it used to be here on the wall, but then we kind of moved it in front of the window the other day and thought it looked pretty cool. Yeah.
Hands and a little bit of
Yeah.
but
Sometimes it's nice to have a mirror when you're practicing because you can make sure that your posture and your breathing and everything looks okay, and just kind of glance at yourself and make sure you're not like all slouched over or something. So, good question. Yeah. Very observant. Linda, hey Linda, thank you so much for watching again. You're like one of our biggest supporters this week. I think you've watched probably every night since we started. I know we miss you so much, and we appreciate you watching so much. We're sending you a big hug. Yes.
Very good friend, and she plays trombone, piano, and
yeah.
I think
we actually,
ukulele?
yeah, I think you play the bass ukulele. Yeah.
Something I remember when we were in her house.
Exactly. So we actually play. Linda's a wonderful trombone player. We did a performance with her and our friend Chris Zavalder, who also plays trombone. Last year, we played the music of Horace Silver, and Linda actually plays in the New Horizons vintage jazz band with my dad, who plays saxophone in the band.
Yeah,
so really cool musical connection. Hi, Dad, if you're watching.
Hi,
Sue has the same birthday as Lucy, August 6th. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So since I'm a huge Lucy fan, I did know that she was a Leo, just like both of us. So my birthday is August 9th, and Antonio Ricardo's birthday is August 19th. So no wonder we're such good friends. Leo power. Woo! Yeah. Oh my gosh, this would have been a perfect time to have Among here, actually, as we were talking about him the other day. I'll explain that story later. We have a little stuffed lion whose name is Among Herhediture. Don't ask me to explain what that name means, but that's the name of this little lion that we have. Antonio will bring him tomorrow. Linda says, Sue, that was my parents' anniversary, and they made it over 72 years together. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations.
That's so special. Oh my gosh. Yeah. How wonderful. Hey, Joanne, thank you so much for listening again. Wonderful to see you again through Facebook. Don Verploeg. Hey, Don. Don's a wonderful photographer who took many of our photos at the Jazz Fest over the years, and he and Marcy, his wife, are both wonderful photographers, and I know that they work really hard at the Jazz Fest every summer, and both of their pictures are fabulous, and we so appreciate their support. Thank you so much for watching. My mom's watching. Hey, Mom. Thank you so much. I hope you like the Lucy song. My mom can definitely attest to the audience how much I watched Lucy during my lifetime. Let's see. Oh, Lisa, I pronounced your name right. Thank you, Clement. So I'm going to read Lisa's story here because it looks like she just wrote it. Lisa Clement, her great-great-grandfather and his brother founded the orchestra, which is a precursor to the RPO, and the school which became the Eastman School of Music. Oh my God, that's amazing. What a great story. Thank you for sharing that, because I wanted to make sure I said everything correctly. My dad's watching. Hi, Dad!
Hello,
Thanks
Dad.
so much for tuning in again. So, let's see. There's another version of this video on my other Facebook page, so I'm just going to glance over there real quick to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. So I stream this directly to my Facebook music page, but then I also share the same video on my my personal Facebook page. I just want to head on over there, make sure I didn't miss anybody, and then I'm going to tell the story of our beautiful piano here.
And then
See.
it will be all the videos in your website or
Yes.
YouTube.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, we post these videos on YouTube every night after we finish playing, and we're also in the process of putting them on my website as well. So if you have any friends who aren't on Facebook but they'd like to see the videos, feel free to share our YouTube links and website links. Joel's watching again. Hey, Joel, thanks so much for listening if you're still there. He says, yeah, I thought you guys were married, just wasn't sure. Yeah, so you haven't met my friend Joel. He's a friend of mine from college. We were actually neighbors. We lived in the same apartment complex, so
Nice.
that's how we knew each other.
Kalamazoo?
Yes, exactly. We lived in like apartment building letter K or something. All the apartments in college on the Western Michigan campus were all they're all labeled with letters of the alphabet. And I remember that I lived in apartment letter K because I lived in K one year and I lived in N one year, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and then we were inviting another friend over, and that friend said, "Which building do you live in?" And I said, letter N, and then this other friend said, "N is a knife." Thought it was really funny. And then the next year I moved to building letter K, which is K as a knife, yeah. So for those of you who are still watching, I wanted to share the story of this this beautiful piano here. So this is my baby, and Antonio and I are the third owners of this piano, and this piano is 93 years old. And the reason I know that is because there is a serial number inside the piano underneath the lid, like right in there behind Beethoven. And I looked up the serial number on the internet. There's a website where you can actually find out the age of your piano, and I discovered that it was built in 1927. And it was actually built right here in Rochester, I assume at the place that is now the Piano Works Mall, which was at one time a big piano manufacturing factory. And the brand of this piano is Knabe. It's spelled Knabe. And this piano just has a great story behind it, the way we accumulated it and just like its life. So like I said, we're the third people to own this piano. And we purchased it from someone who was selling it on Craigslist in 2015, who was the second owner of the piano. And the gentleman we purchased it from, at that time, he was just finishing up his doctoral degree at the Eastman School of Music. And he had just gotten a job to become a piano professor at a school in Utah. And so he was moving away from Rochester, and he wasn't going to take this piano with him. So he was selling it. But we found out he had previously done his master's degree at Juilliard. Imagine doing Juilliard and Eastman. Whew. Says something about this guy as a musician. That's amazing. So he had lived in New York, obviously, when he was a student at Juilliard, and this was his piano. And he had purchased it from a woman who was the original owner of the piano. And this piano spent the majority of its life in New York City, even though it was built in Rochester. And the woman who owned the piano before the gentleman we bought it from, she wasn't a pianist herself, but she was a patron of a nonprofit organization in New York City called Friends of Mozart, which is an organization that hosts regular classical concerts in people's homes. And so I suppose this woman hosted a lot of concerts over the years, and the piano was very well taken care of. And it was just really special to me that it was owned by somebody who was such a big supporter of the arts. And apparently when this woman passed away, there was an estate sale, and the gentleman who we bought the piano from purchased this piano for himself when he was a Juilliard student. And he told us that he put a lot of work into the piano. He said it was in pretty good condition when he bought it, but it could have been better. And so he actually invested a lot in making this piano just really excellent. There were some things that he had rebuilt and refinished. And he just took really great care of it over the years. And it was tuned quite regularly when he owned it. So it was just in great shape when we bought it from him. And it's been such a joy to play. As I said a few minutes ago, we got it in 2015. And when we were piano shopping, I always say that pianos are like people, and that no two pianos are exactly alike. Even if they're the same brand and model and they're supposed to be the same, they really never are. And, certain pianos really feel right, and sometimes certain pianos just don't. So we were trying out a lot of pianos in Rochester. We were searching Craigslist, and when I played this one, I just knew immediately that it was the one. I just love the way that the keys feel. The term is called action. That's the way that the keys feel when you play them. And I love a piano that has an easy enough action that you don't have to push so hard on the keys. And that means you can play like really delicate music without having to put so much of your body weight into it. But also at the same time, it responds really well to lots of power. I don't have to be afraid of playing it with a lot of power. I know that the instrument can handle it. And another thing that I love about it, and this is to me like one of the signs of a really excellent piano, is that the bass notes are super clear, as well as the treble notes, very, very crystal clear. And you can always tell when a piano is maybe not the best when the treble notes and the bass notes kind of don't really come out so well. Typically the middle part of the piano, it's pretty clear on just about any instrument. But in my opinion, that's really the mark of a great piano, is when the bass and treble just really come out so clearly. And I felt that immediately when I played it. And the last part of the story is that the gentleman who we purchased the piano from lived on the third floor of an apartment building in downtown Rochester with no elevator.
No elevator.
I don't know how they got it up there when he moved to that apartment. But somehow the piano movers, and I'd like to say a shout out to Kakamizi Piano Movers in Rochester, I couldn't believe how they moved it. Now when you move a grand piano, what you have to do, not everybody knows this, you have to take off the legs of the piano, and you have to take off the lid, because otherwise the lid might flap around and hit you and fall off. And it's pretty difficult to get it through a doorway if you don't take that off, and if you don't take the legs. Yes, you have to remove the pedals too. So this part right where my foot is. So they took all those off, but still getting it down 3 flights of stairs, which turned constantly, and it had like a really narrow doorway, and the stairwell was pretty narrow. They turned the piano sideways, and there were 3 men moving it. They turned it on its side, so instead of the keyboard being like this, it was like that. And they put on these big harnesses and very, very carefully and meticulously moved it one step at a time.
Those one step.
Yeah. It was really unbelievable and amazing to watch them move it.
Yeah.
Honestly, Antonio and I were holding our breath the whole time. But it was amazing. When it arrived in the house, it had not even gone out of tune, which is really a testament to how well they moved it. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you because some people, some of our friends and audience members have asked what kind of piano I play at home. And since I obviously can't take this to our live performances, I just wanted to introduce you all to this baby here. And this is, I say baby because this is officially a baby grand. It's about 5 feet long, and a piano that's between like 5 and 6 feet is typically called a baby grand. There's also a parlor grand, which is about 7 feet long, parlor grand or studio grand. And then there's a concert grand, which is the longest kind, about 9 feet long, and that's the kind of piano you typically see on a big stage like at Carnegie Hall or in the Eastman Theater, because they need to be that large to create that much sound to fill a big room. Theater. Yes, actually, thank you for mentioning that. We love to play at the Little Theater Cafe, and we certainly hope that we will, again, once it reopens, whenever that may be. The Little Theater Cafe is a really special venue because they actually have a 9-foot concert grand Steinway piano there, which is such a rare thing for any music venue to have. And like I just said, typically you only find those in a big concert hall, and it's really special and unique that the Little Theater Cafe has one. And I just love playing that piano so much. It's got such a powerful sound. Yeah, like it really just fills the whole room, and it's such a joy to play. So a little shout out to Mona and the Little Theater Cafe. Mona. We hope that you're all doing well, and we really look forward to going back there and hopefully playing there again once you do reopen. So thank you so much, everybody. For those of you who are still watching, thank you for being here with us tonight. We're going to be doing this at the same time tomorrow night, so we hope you'll stay tuned. And again, feel free to go over to lauradubin.com. There's a link right in the video here, and you can purchase our albums or make a one-time donation or become a monthly patron if you would like to do that. Thank you so much. Hope you all have a great night and stay safe and healthy. Thank you. Bye.